Hey, how's it going, collective? Hope all is well with you. I just wanted to share something with you. It's something that I hope that you haven't really experienced in your life. If you have experienced this, what I'm talking about is spiritual attack. There are all different types of spiritual attack, collective. I'm gonna talk about one particular type that I have some experience with in my life. Um, there was a time that I did not have this experience, and then there was a time after I had the experience that I know it to be true. And if it's something that you have experienced yourself, then this message is for you. I'm reaching out to you because like one of the real traumas of trauma bonding is the isolating aspect of it, collective. And that's what I want to talk with you about. Trauma bonding as a magical, a spiritual, a dark, a demonic practice. What I'm talking to you about, collective, really is intentional trauma bonding. You know that there are some individuals out here roaming the earth, collective. You might have met them. You might be in a relationship with them. If you're one of them, you're not part of this collective. You're a cross watcher, and you might not even know that this is you. What I'm talking to you about is something that is human, and it's spiritual, and it's human, and it could be termed demonic, collective. There are people out here that have had some experiences in their life. Have you ever heard that saying? I'm sure you have. Hurt people, collective. That this is what hurt people do. They've been hurt, and I guess we've all been hurt. Everybody on the planet, live life without being hurt. But not everybody is malicious or malevolent. Not everybody has intentions. They set an intention with their life, or like I said, with their intentions, their actions. I heard that there was is there a fad that was going around for a while? It's something about like ghosting. There's like a ghosting fad or something. I mean, so like if people have intentions to like do certain things that somebody else might consider negative or harmful, but some people, their intention is to do harm, to do evil, and some people, the way that it was told to me is, and this was like when like masks fall off and that type of thing. The last time you ever see somebody that would do something to you, something like this, they might say something along the lines of, "I hurt you to make myself feel better," if they were being honest with you. And I mean, sometimes like when you have a certain nature, you're gonna pull the honesty out of a situation, and that's just the nature of a mask falling in the first place. Somebody might slip up and say something, and one of the things that was said, "Buddy, stop doing that, man." Buddy's always ripping up my baseboard. Stop, buddy. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Buddy, the good old dog collective. Stop ripping up my baseboards. Buddy is a pity bully, goody boy. He's a good boy. But by his very nature and breed, man, he's gonna be ripping stuff up. He's a pulling breed. So you take him for a walk, he's jerking me around all the time. I love him. I love his nature. And we all have nature. We all have different spirits. But what I'm talking about, collective, is, we are humans, and but as humans we have a body. When we say we're humans, we have a body. But if you have a body, you probably have a spirit, right? I believe that there is a certain classification of a person, a human, that we might consider a soulless being. If it's a non-player character, then really it's like a house with nobody in it. And I mean, is there even a house with nobody in it? You might have a house without a permanent occupant, but you're still gonna have people coming through there all the time doing different things, whether they official or unofficial. You know what I'm saying? Whether they just squatting or not. You know? Somebody might not be paying the bills to keep up the property, but somebody else is gonna probably be in one of the rooms, you know, with no power in the back room, like drinking or smoking, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so some people have just let their house go. Some people are not really, they checked out of their temple. You know, when we are given a body, we are also given a responsibility by God. This is our mission, to live our lives, to honor our temple, and to maintain this holy shrine. I mean, and to dedicate it for God's will and purpose. Some people don't do that, collective. Some people, and if you study these people, if you know about narcissists, and if you had that experience, you will see that they will study different manipulative mechanisms, different ways, and they'll call it like love spells. Sometimes it's narcissists, sometimes it's witches. I mean, sometimes it's narcissist demons, sometimes it's narcissist witches. You know what I'm saying? But the point is, there's some people that have, maybe they don't consider themselves narcissists. They don't even know that they're not. Most narcissists, I believe, they know they're narcissists. Because some of the narcissists I've known, not all of them, they will study either borderline, they might study narcissism, they might study different psychological manifestations, malformations, and I'm pretty sure that they to some extent that they're believe that they're the victim. They don't take accountability, so they take that victim mentality. But in another sense of looking at it, sometimes I believe that they're studying in order to figure out how to be more manipulative, right? If you're like the type that you looking up love magic and you looking up ways to manipulate people's hearts and their emotions, I mean, to a different extent, you might be manipulating a way of, you know, like really betraying a relationship or even being a third party in somebody else's relationship. Because anytime you're trying to manipulate somebody's love, what I'm talking about, collective, is binding. Kind of like binding magic or binding spells. And what I'm saying is, people might not even be practicing witchcraft. They might not even know that they're doing it. Some people just had experiences earlier in their life where they realized when they were abandoned and treated terribly in a relationship, how they responded and how they reacted, and they studied their own trauma. Some people had this trauma inflicted on them from very early ages, from childhood, by their parents, right? I mean, you'll hear about like certain like parents just like really like sexualizing their children, either in that like hotel like scene, sometimes like in their own home bedrooms, sometimes with their own like parents or especially like if it's like step parents or something like that. I mean, but what I'm saying is, what you'll find is some people that have had these experiences, they realize that they became bonded to the person that treated them so badly, and they actively use this as a mechanism to bind other people's souls to them, to create slaves. That's what trauma bonding really is in its worst form. Sometimes it can exist just because you in a relationship with a person that cheats a lot. And it's traumatic. There's a bunch of arguments and fights, and it's traumatic. But sometimes people do that in order to create a bond, a slave out of you. And you have to be very careful about that, collective. All right, I'm gonna make a part 2 of this. I hope you can't relate to what I'm saying. I love you, collective. One time, respect, peace.